Hey guys, welcome back. So it's been a little bit over an hour. So I've collected all my 4 farms. As you can see, it's now at 791 food. I was attacked once for only about 80,000 or so. So 82,000, which is not bad at all. So as you can see, we're still at 101,000 or 1,100,000. I did just collect my farms or my taverns, which got me up there. So we're gonna go ahead and get food. I'll explain to you why. Actually, I'll go show you. Dawn 1 is only going to give us 78,000 right now since we've attacked him several times in the last hour or so. So if we use the food trick, we use 1 gem, we reset our gold amount that we're going to get from opponents. So you see Dawn 1 is now giving us 155,000 again. So of course we're going to go and attack him. So that's why you use, when you buy food with gems, it will reset the gold counts almost all the way to max. And it doesn't matter how many gems you use. You can use 1, just like I showed you there, or you can use 30 or 40, and it'll reset it. So when you're trying to get the big upgrades, you're definitely going to be using these kind of tricks. Otherwise, you're going to have to use gold shields, which gold shields are great, but they have cooldowns, so you won't be able to use them all the time. Oops. I gotta sit back and heal my king. I don't know if it's something I've ever talked about, but you can actually push back the cannon and kind of like hold him back. So if you don't want him to go forward, you can, push him back, wait for other troops to come. That's a tactic that you will have to use in certain situations. It comes in handy knowing that you can actually block your troops and prevent them from moving forward. And especially it works with your cannons because your cannons are very valuable. You don't want them to die. So after a few raids here, we're going to be able to get a firebolt cannon started, upgraded again, or start building. And so as we improve our defenses, we're going to be able to hold more gold and protect it better. Because as you have a better defense, you'll be able to hold back a lot more people, and they won't be able to steal as much of your gold. Hence allowing you to upgrade your base more and more. Because once you get higher up, once you get into the end game, you do need a lot of gold. And the only way to get lots of gold is either to buy gems, buy gold shields always, or to have a really strong base that protects a good amount of your gold. You'll never be able to protect everything. You're always going to lose some gold when you get raided. But having a really strong base will help protect a ton of your gold. So the number one thing you really want to upgrade first is your knights, or I should say, excuse me, the paladins. They have so much life, and they act as a huge deterrent. The next thing you want to upgrade for your defenses are going to be your pyromancers. You're going to want to get your pyromancers up as high as possible, as quick as possible, because they can actually survive a sword rain once they're high enough. And if they can survive a sword rain, having a unit that will splash damage with fire from a distance is extremely powerful. So that's the big thing, is you want to upgrade your paladins and you want to upgrade your pyromancers as soon as possible. Then of course you throw in your mortar once you get that. Your mortar is an extremely strong unit, and then everything else is just kind of a leftover fill in the blank type thing. And of course, you're upgrading your waves constantly, trying to get your waves as strong as possible. Those are the key items you need to upgrade to build a better defense to save more gold. Thankfully, those upgrades aren't that expensive. I believe getting the Paladin to level 6 costs 2 million for that upgrade. So you can see right here he has lots of life. No, see, it doesn't even cost 2 million. Getting it to level 7 probably only cost a million and a half. Or I mean to level 6, excuse me, because the upgrade to go to level 7, it just costs 1.75. So getting that to level 6 at least, and if you can get it to level 7, which would be better, because you can see he gains a whole another 400 life, and he does a lot more damage, 30 more damage. The Pyromancer, 1380, when you upgrade him, he'll gain 280 life, which is quite a bit amount of life. And again, it's only 900,000 to go to level 3. So they're fairly cheap. And then you'll also want to upgrade the mortar eventually. Fairly expensive though. First you have to unlock the mortar, which is going to be a little tricky because it takes 2 million to unlock the Troop Academy level 8. So if we went ahead and bought more food with gems, we would be able to reset it. But we don't have enough gems available to do that. So we're going to have to raid him 2 more times to probably get our 1.5 million gold. Which is fine. We have food stored up now. And then once you start running low on the opponents that are giving out good gold, you can actually still find people that give out decent gold, but you have to search through the leaderboards and look for people that have been raiding recently. Because you can still find people that are 100,000, 200,000 on there if they have stolen a lot of gold recently. Like if someone were to search for J-Dub right now, this account, they would find he has a good amount of gold, but they can't attack me because I'm online right now. If I were to log off with a lot of gold still stored up, if I were to log off with having 1.5 million or 1.7 million in gold, then I'd look really, really nice to opponents. I'd have probably like 300,000 available for them to steal, maybe even more than that. So once you do a big raiding session, you never want to log off without using at least some of it. You always want to set a goal and try and reach that goal in your session and do pretty much no matter what it takes to reach that goal. So if you need to get, like we're trying to get to 1.5 million, so that's all we're focusing on is looking for loot. And if something crazy were to happen, I'd put all my resources in and try to get that last loot and just do the raids really, really quick, get that loot so I can log off and, go back to real life, do whatever comes up, or take care of business. And then it's always good to have, some gems on the side, so just in case something does crazy happen in real life and you can't play, you can go over here and use a, 1-day gold shield real quick. It's only 45 gems. You want to have those available for sticky situations, because sometimes there are times where you just can't get on, can't play, and you definitely don't want to sit around with having a big amount of gold, because if you take a day off or 2 days off, you're going to be down to no gold. As people may have seen in the Let's Play series, I didn't play that account for 2 to 3 days or so, and all the gold in the account was wiped out every time I logged back on. This game definitely does, desires your attention, at least once a day in the higher level gameplay. So after this one, we're going to get our firebolt cannon, and then that will be it. So that wasn't too hard for us to get 1.5 million. We started off with pretty much zero. If you're having issues collecting and saving that much gold, you can also try to slowly level up all your taverns. They are very cheap to level up. They cost, 100,000, 150,000. So you can just dump all your gold into those. And as they level up, as they get to like level 10 or so, they'll start producing a lot of gold for you. Especially if you leave them in there for, 10 hours or 12 hours. You'll see that it has 40 or 50,000 in gold in each of your taverns. And when they're in your tavern, it's a lot more protected than in your gold storage, which is kind of bizarre. So having your gold in your tavern, leaving it, letting it fill all the way up. If you leave your tavern for like one full day, 24 hours, you'll have a nice, almost probably 300,000 in gold just in your taverns if they're high enough level. And like I said, they're cheap enough to upgrade that you can do that. And then when you come back on, you'll have, instantly 200 to 300,000 in gold just sitting right there in your taverns. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about here. So these guys are level 9. So they can hold 64,000 gold. So if I'm offline for 20 hours, they fill up completely. And that'll be 64,000. So one day, if I don't log on one day, I'll have about 250,000 in gold in all my taverns, which is a good amount of gold. I can't upgrade them, but you can see they're only 250,000 gold to upgrade to level 10. We do need to eventually work on getting to Throne Room 8 in this account. But now this is the big thing. We're getting our second firebolt cannon. There we go. It'll be ready in 23 hours, 24 hours exactly. And that's going to be it. So hopefully this base holds up well, gets us some nice gems and defenses. It's really, really amazing how every time someone fights you, you're gaining a ton and ton of trophies because you're holding them back so well. I mean, 2%, 2%, 6%, 8%, 17, 6%. The highest percentage was 46%. And here's a 49%. You can definitely see how strong the defenses, can be. They can get you a lot of trophies if you build a good defense. Definitely check out the videos for the tips and tricks on the defenses. And, study up on defenses. Study up what works, what you don't like to fight against yourself. Because if you don't like to fight against it yourself, that means they're doing something good. And you can copy people's designs. And, there's no reason to invent the wheel. There's not that many different varieties of defenses you can make. There are a lot of combinations, but still, if something works, something like having a long pathway like this so your ranged troops can sit behind, that's pretty basic and fundamental in this game. So using this to your advantage to allow ranged troops, using the corner spots that can't be attacked until they get all the way around, or cannons which die very rapidly. Use those tips and become a stronger player. So that's going to do it for this episode. Hopefully you enjoyed and learned something about farming some gold, base design. And if you have any questions or want to get your base rated into the Rate My Base series, please leave your king name down below, and I'll get to that as soon as possible.